Hi friends, it's Em from Plain with Em, and today I'm going to be showing you 4 simple bullet journal spreads that you can use for creating, managing, or evaluating your budget. We're going to start with just a simple budget overview spread. The whole point of this spread is that it helps you see where your money is going and specifically can help you pre-plan. So, for example, in April, I know that I'm going to be going to Go Wild and I'm very excited about it. And so I would be putting things in my budget like hotel and travel and dining out. Those are some of the categories that I would want to be focusing on because I know I'm going to be spending outside of my normal sort of vein there. Usually, I break this down into like subcategories. So, for example, we've got essentials. I don't say, oh, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars on essentials. I would go and I would say, okay, this is how much I want to spend on groceries. This is how much I want to spend on gas. This is how much I have to spend on rent. That sort of situation. And then it's not meant to be aspirational, it's meant to be realistic. So, for example, I'm trying really hard not to spend all of my money on craft supplies, but if I know that Archer and Olive just had a spring launch, or that they're about to, absolutely I need to be putting that in my budget. It is impossible for me to see all of the cute things in the spring launch and get nothing. If you can, wow, like your restraint is just next level. I love that for you. But for me, I couldn't, and that's okay. Then what you'll do, right, is you would total it all up. This is what I'm expecting to spend. You could compare that to what you're expecting to bring in that month, and you can sort of see what the difference is going to be. It can be really eye-opening when you do this for the first time, especially if you've used the spread that we're going to talk about next first. Just because, I like to think that I know what I'm spending my money on, but sometimes this will show you that no, I don't. I did not realize that I spend an inordinate amount of money on hockey snacks. that is a category for sure that I overspend on. So this next little page is the spending tracker. So I have a digital version of this that I use every single month, but the physical is really good, especially when you're getting started, because really you sort of get it in your head every time that you're writing it down. It's sort of like building it into your body. You go, man, I've written down hockey snacks a lot of times this month. I was expecting to only have to do that once. I'm gonna have a good long thought about that. And so what we're doing here is we're just gonna make our little columns for the date, the expenditure, right, what the expense was, the category it goes in, and how much money it was. What is really great about this as well is that you can see if you have a pattern. So specifically, if there are certain days of the month when you're spending a lot, or if it's like days of the week. So if you go out to lunch every Wednesday, and maybe it's like a really expensive lunch, I don't know. That would be something that you'd be able to see in this, right? You would see that, oh, every 7 days, yeah, that does happen, doesn't it? I would recommend making multiple pages of this, probably depending on how, many separate expenditures you do, 2 to 3. But for the sake of this, and so I didn't have to keep drawing lines, I just made 1 page. But it is also meant, right, at the end, you add it all up. So we don't just, write it down and leave it. We're not just going to write it down, put it in a drawer, and never look at it again. And I will say that while each of these spreads can be used individually, they really work well as a team. So here we're going to be creating a savings tracker, but also sort of like a little savings challenge. So we will be able to use the previous spreads to give us a good idea of how much we can actually save. And this is meant to be used after, you've made all of your essential payments, all of your debt payments, all of that sort of stuff. And you know your income better than some random person on the internet can. So whether you want to be using that money, at the end of the month to go into savings or to pay off more debt, or you want to treat yourself to a fun experience or item, more power to you. For me, I know that I need to work on savings. I am already way too good at treating myself. So I'm creating a little savings challenge. And it's always good here to sort of note what you're saving for. So saving just to save isn't the best, right? So for example, I'm going to be saving for some foundation work that we need to have done on our house. Because we just bought a house. And that's a purpose. It's definitely not fun. Like, no one wants to spend a whole bunch of money on the foundation of your house rather than like a cool trip. But, there's a purpose to it. And so I'm going to be less inclined to, take from this account and move to another account because I sort of have that purpose in mind. Some fun ways to do challenges are switching to cash for everything and using the change to kind of essentially old school piggy bank sort of situation, where you just save all the loose change and then at the end of the week or the end of the month, put that into your savings account. Another way is, this one's really fun, where you write down the numbers 1 through 52, and then each week you pull a little number, and that's the amount of money that you put into your savings account. And so by the end of it, you'll have saved around $1,300, which, for pretty minimal effort or sort of minimal thought, that's really, really good. You can be more aggressive or less aggressive in that as you sort of move on with your savings journey. But this is the cool part that I really like, is a spending breakdown. So the fun part of this is that we're going to be able to use color at the end of the month and sort of color in the regions of our circle based on what percentage we spent in each category. So what we'll do is we'll sum up all of our total expenditures, we'll sum them up in total, and then by category, do a quick division and estimate what percent it'll be. So we're taking those categories from our spending tracker, and that's it. That's so simple. And you can see, right, where you're actually putting your money. So before, right, you might have written down hockey snacks in your tracker a whole bunch of times. Here, I could look at this and be like, wow, 15% of my income every month is going to hockey snacks in my entertainment budget or whatever. And you can sort of make this as detailed as you want. You could do it like hockey games and grocery shopping and all that stuff, or you can keep it really loose with the entertainment. I am interested to see, when I fill this out, sort of what percent of my income is going where. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll have printables of these spreads linked in my blog post, as well as some other blogs and videos for you to check out. I'm really excited to see how this sort of works for my budgeting, and I hope that it helps you in your budgeting journey as well. And as always, happy planning.